With these recent balance changes in Marvel Snap, the Herald of the Galactus Silver Surfer is back in a big way, and we got one of these old school Silver Surfer decks that is working very well in the current Marvel Snap meta. And if you're ready to see this deck in action, guys, then you know what to do. Find that like button. Let's go snap it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello Marvel Snap fans, welcome back to the Valley Snap channel. I'm ValleyFlyin, hope you're having a great day. In this video, we're talking about an old school meta deck that lost some steam but has now returned to the meta because of these new balance changes. Some of these cards, some of these decks like Shuri, Thanos losing a lot of steam. And now this deck has returned featuring Silver Surfer. Now, this is your first time here on the channel. Hit the subscribe button for more great Marvel Snap content. We put out deck ideas, news, tips, tricks, everything to help you in Marvel Snap. But without further ado, let's get right into this deck. It's an old school deck, and the main culprit in this deck is Silver Surfer. So it's going to give all of our 3-cost cards plus 2 power, which is why we have a lot of 3-cost cards in this deck. And there are certain ways that we can deal with and counter a lot of decks out there. One of them is with Goose. And because all of our cards are 3-cost and lower, except for Sarah, we could play in pretty much any lane that Goose is out there. Our opponents probably can't. We have Rogue out here to counter Darkhawks, Devil Dinosaurs, a lot of these other ongoing cards that are now returning to prominence now that that Shuri Red Skull deck has lost some value there. So Rogue is a great counter card. Brood is a lane winner in itself if we have this Silver Surfer dropping a lot of power in one lane on just one turn. Silver Surfer obviously is the main culprit in this deck. We got some location control with Storm and Juggernaut. If we get that Storm Juggernaut play that gives us one lane, then we just have to focus on winning another lane. Potentially with a Brood. We have Killmonger here paired with Nova, and Nova does a couple things. Obviously, it does give us that 1+ power when it's destroyed, but if we throw this down early, we could think we could trick our opponent thinking that we're running some kind of destroy deck or something like that. Not super obvious because Nova Killmonger combo is featured in a lot of decks nowadays, but we may just get a little tiny advantage thinking our opponent's having our opponent think that we're running something else. We also have that gamble here in Thor, which is a very, very fun card. Sometimes we get Mjolnir, sometimes we don't. I don't think we get Mjolnir in any of the footage that you're about to see here, but if we do draw Mjolnir, that gives our opponent something to think about. Always with this Thor card here, you always kind of have to plan that this is going to be a 10-powered card. And assuming that your opponent does have Mjolnir, that's kind of what we want to do when we throw down Thor as well. Polaris gives us some location control, preventing some type of decks like Galactus decks or anything if we could get a card out to a position that they're potentially going to play that Galactus in. Maximus is a great tempo card. 3/7 is a strong card. It does have the detrimental effect of having our opponent draw 2 cards, but if we play this late, it doesn't make too much of a difference. And then our only card that is above 3 cost is Sarah, and this is to make all of our cards in our hand cost 1 less. Now you have a lot of options here. There's a lot of great 3-cost cards that you could use in this deck. These are the ones that we chose for this. I do like that option of Killmonger with Nova, and I do like Goose in this deck. Now since this is based around Silver Surfer, you got a lot of great other 3-cost options. Some other 3-cost cards that I would recommend. One of them could be Shadow King. If you did pull this, is a pull 4 card, but it now is a 3-cost card instead of a 4-cost card, and you can kind of location control with some of these cards. If you have a big card like a Darkhawk or a Mystique or a Devil Dinosaur, this could kind of really screw up what your opponent is doing. Captain America works great if we're filling up a location. Has some great synergy with Brood there as well. We also have Gambit, which is great card to throw down in a final turn of the game. You're going to discard a card from your hand, which is why you don't want to throw this down too early. It may discard one of your cards that you need. But if you throw this down late, it doesn't matter too much, and you're destroying a random enemy card from their board. So that's a great card, gambling card, but some great effects there. Groot, this is essentially a 3/6 if you guess right and play this where your opponent play the card, and also gets powered up by Silver Surfer. So it's essentially a 3/8 if you put this in the correct lane. So it could have a lot of power there. Kingpin can go good with Polaris, also a 3-cost card as well. Cosmo for some location control, limiting what our opponent can do as well. And last but not least, I do want to mention Mr. Fantastic because it gives adjacent locations 2+ power. So it gives us some location control on some potentially locked out locations. But that is this deck, guys. Let's go take it into action and see some fun gameplay. All right, we got a Surfer, Sarah, Juggernaut, and the Raft. I think that's a good location to storm Juggernaut and get some of their cards out there. All right, we could throw down... We could throw this down there. If we get a Brood, we'll win that 6-cost card right away. Nothing that I want to swap with them. Do I want to risk that 6-cost card out there? I don't think I want to risk it, so let's go ahead and storm this location. Raft is being switched up. And they go Black Widow. All right, let's give them the... Oh no, it's too late. We're not giving that back on Oscorp Tower. All right, let's go here and we'll Juggernaut this. So we'll win that location. Looking good so far. We have Sarah, we have Surfer, we have Killmonger with a Nova out there ready. And we have one of the locations pretty much won. We're gonna need something like a Brood. Get that final win condition though. But we at least have one location and we have some good cards to play. There's a Darkhawk. Gonna have to Sarah now. I think we Killmonger. Ooh, they have a strong Mystique there. And a Zabu. Alright, so we could do this. We could go Rogue here. Killmonger. Killmonger, Surfer. And not try to play for that Baxter building. I want that Darkhawk ability. Let's go with this. Little risk. Alright, so they're loading up on Baxter building, playing for that 3 power. They go a bunch of rocks. We steal their Darkhawk. Taking that. That's our power now. We get rid of their core. We get rid of our Nova. And finally, just to seal the deal, here comes our Silver Surfer. Giving us some power to Juggernaut Storm and to our big Rogue there. All right, it is Blade. All right, so they don't want to discard it. They just want those 3 points out there. Interesting. I haven't seen that 0 Blade play before. All right, everything needs to be played on Pet Mansion. Let's go ahead and go Thor now. We go Thor, they go with Domino. Right, so... Oh, nice! Luckily, Los Diablos gets rid of that horrible location. Let's go ahead and pull their Domino over. So if we do something with Pet Mansion, maybe we'll get that Mjolnir. We do have Sarah. We do have Silver Surfer in hand. We're pulling that Domino over. And then 9 points of power there. There are protecting our Goose Lane. Where do we throw our Sarah? I think we throw our Sarah right here. We're matched in 9 power. We have one more card than they do at that location. And we could play all 3 of these cards. These are all good cards. Juggernaut, Surfer, Maximus that we could throw down at the end. Let's see what they throw down, how they react. We got lucky with that Los Diablos base. There's a Wong and Hazmat coming out. Is that what the Luke Cage was for? Or is it for something like a Typhoid Mary that they're trying to play? All right, they go on that location. They Valkyrie everything. So they now have 12 power there. Make sure we win this location, win this location, and finally we'll put down Silver Surfer. A little too late to snap. We didn't draw all the cards that we wanted early, but I think this is good enough for the win. Let's go ahead and lock this in and see what they throw down. They go Cosmo, nothing to do there. They go Mystique, locking down that Cosmo, but oh, we actually aren't going to be able to move it, but we don't get our Surfer out either, but that's fine because we get enough points even without Surfer. We win Ruins and we win Pet Mansion. All right, we have Polaris, Storm, Killmonger, all looking good so far. All of our 3-cost cards and another 3-cost card in Rogue. Nothing to play on turn 1 or turn 2, unfortunately. We have a lot of 3-cost cards in this deck, and that kind of makes some of these other turns a little clunky. All right, so we do have that Killmonger here and a Nova. Let's go with the Nova out now. Let's play the Killmonger later. Normally, I would like to play that later all together, but just the way the tempo is going. All right, there's a Storm and a Juggernaut, so let's try to win this location there. We storm it now. We'll play Juggernaut on the next turn.
Aid my hand.
All right. Oh, and we have Silver Surfer there. All right, so we should win the middle, that location control, unless they have something like Jeff the Shark. We're not going to be able to access that. Or a Dr. Doom or a White Tiger. So they get off of that location. We got 5 there, and I have no idea what they played, but it is 3-cost card. All right. We don't want to destroy this right now. We could play Polaris. I think we could go Polaris, Killmonger, Surfer, all on New York. Or we could be even more tricky. We could do this. We could do Brood on New York. Load up that location. And then finally we could Killmonger, Surfer on Dark Dimension. Let's see if that gets enough points though, depending what kind of deck they're running. They go Magic, extending the game. We could go Polaris, Killmonger now. Actually, let's go Polaris, Rogue. And then Killmonger, Goose for the final turn. Or Killmonger, Surfer for the final turn. All right, that won't help us too much. Let's go Killmonger, Surfer. Is that gonna be enough? We have the flooded location. Currently have Limbo, but what are they gonna throw down? They did throw down a card, so not Infinite coming out. Let's go ahead and lock this in and see what their grand plan was hiding. What is hiding behind Dream Dimension? Is it a MODOK and a Hela? No, they played it on turn 3. All right, there's Sunspot. We move that over, so it looks like we get Limbo. It looks like we do get a flood location, depending on what they play. There goes their Sunspot. With all our cards, a little bit more power. And here comes our Surfer. All right, that is our final score. We get the flooded location. We probably get Limbo. There is a MODOK. And is this a Hela? Oh my goodness, they've discarded a lot of big cards. It's not a Hela, it's a Magneto. Wow, that could have been bad if that was a Hela. All right, we have a Sarah Maximus Brood. Looking good so far. And Sinister London, I like this. All right, nothing to play right now, but I do like Sinister London. It's a great place for Sarah. Got a bunch of really, really cheap cards. 1-cost cards at the end. Don't want to reveal too much. All right, there's a Storm Juggernaut. That looks good for us. Unfortunately, it is a Sinister London. But actually, we could throw a Storm right on Sinister London to make sure that they can't access where the Storm Juggernaut lane.
This just
Copy of a card in our hand. All right, so they have something that they could take advantage of. Let's go ahead and Storm right now. And we could Juggernaut Nova on that Sinister, or the left location. It won't be Sinister London after that. And they're not going to be able to copy cards. All right, so we get rid of that Sinister London before they access that. It looks like they've copied our Storm with that Hellfire Club, or with that Daily Bugle. All right, so we're going to go ahead and, oh, this is lovely. We have a Juggernaut and a Nova that we could throw down for a Killmonger. Turn 5, we have Sarah, and hopefully we can draw that Silver Surfer, but I think we win this flooded location. They're not going to access that. Boom. Oh, even if they did, Okoye, those 2 power wouldn't be enough. All right, so we have the flooded location. We do have a Lady Sif, so they could have a Modok Hella type deck here. Turn 5, let's get Sarah out there. And there's their Angela. I think we go Brood, Killmonger, Surfer for the win. Let's go. Lock it in. Should be a pretty simple victory unless they're throwing something at us that unexpected. What are they throwing at the Daily Bugle? We get rid of our Nova there, giving us a little bit more points. We got rid of their card, and now is our Surfer. Merc and Chavez, they got nothing for Hellfire Club and nothing for that flooded location, and they get the Daily Bugle. All right, Polaris, Rogue, Maximus, and Killmonger. All some pretty good disruptive cards. Cards that cost 1 can't be played here. Let's get our... Let's get our Nova out now. We go Black Widow. Not great for us, but... we can throw that Widow's Bite there. And Maximus, this location, we are going to give him a 2-card draw, but I think not having a rock on our side makes up for that. Let's see if that's the right thinking. Oh, they go with a Green Goblin, but luckily Green Goblin is still a 3-cost card, so that's not horrible. We can draw one of their cards over Polaris. I don't think I want to do that right now. Let's get Thor out. Maybe we'll draw Mjolnir. Alright, they're loading up on Eternity range. What are they planning out here? They're going Viper, giving us the Rock. Alright, luckily we have that Killmonger, though. Alright, turn 5. Not a lot here. Not a lot that we could do here. Let's put this Brood out. Alright, we got a couple options for the final turn. We got Killmonger. We also have a Polaris that we draw. Oh, no. Okay, so we're going to Killmonger right now. Destroying some rocks. Bringing some cards over. Destroying their Viper. All they really have is 10 power. Or 13. No. They're going to have nothing. All they have is that 3 power in Eternity range. Everything gets destroyed for them. Whoa, that was a big gamble that they had and didn't pay off unless they're going Galactus. They go Galactus on Rickety Bridge. Usually I'm not seeing Black Widow on Mojo and Galactus decks though, unless they're really trying to do something. All right, let's put this Juggernaut there, and let's see how this ends up. They made a weird play on that Rickety Bridge. We don't have a lot. They may not have a lot either. All right, we can get rid of that stuff. So they go Carnage, Titania gets destroyed, and gets destroyed. We get the win. That Rickety Bridge Dr. Ock play was just very risky and didn't pay off for them. All right, we have a Brood, Nova, and Rogue. Oh, it is Mindscape. Hopefully we can draw that Storm to switch the location. Let's throw Nova out there for a potential Killmonger. Good thing about throwing Nova down, it looks like it's a destroy deck. could fool our opponents. We have no play on turn 2. Skipping this turn. We do have Sarah though, and that's great. We can get this Brood out right now. Just to get that 0 cost 6 card. We could throw that down before Mindscape if we don't end up drawing that. Alright, that's not the worst. We could do a Silver Surfer. Mystique won't get drawed over. We're gonna have to go with Polaris. I think we do Polaris. Interesting that they play that Mystique with nothing to copy. It's just a 0 card. All right, let's throw down Polaris. What are we bringing over? Nothing. There's a Mr. Negative. Not sure why they threw down that Mystique. That's a very odd play. The Surfer followed by Odin. And hopefully we get some good negative cards from them. We weren't able to switch up Mindscape, so let's lock this in. And see if that is enough. We're losing our Killmonger with this. And they're giving us a few cards. The Machine World. Okay, so they're getting a Psylocke back and an Ironheart back when we switch hands. And I think we simply go... Let's do something simple like White Tiger to potentially get all 3 lanes. Let that out there. This is a nice Iron Man variant that we got from them. They retreated. Yeah, we didn't give them too much. So yes, guys, as you can see, Silver Surfer is back. Never really left the meta, but did lose a lot of popularity because it's hard to counter these Shuri decks. But now that Shuri is gone, these Silver Surfer decks are thriving in the current meta still. Let me know how you enjoy this deck. Let me know what version, what round of 3 cost cards you enjoy the most in these Silver Surfer decks. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Check me out on social media. Check out some of the other videos for some more decks, some more news, and everything to help you in Marvel Snap. I will see you guys next time, though. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.